I think we're live. So we are here with a very special podcast episode, Pups and Mortgages.
We're doing it.
I'm,
We're doing the thing.
I'm, I'm joined by my friend Kayla, and what we bonded over when we first met, our love of our pups.
And I think that if
What's
you
your
love
pups?
animals, like you got to have everything else in common, right?
Yeah. Everything else aligns. Politics, everything.
I
Religion,
mean, it's fair.
all the things you're not supposed to talk about, they all align.
I know, right? If someone says they don't like dogs, I'm like, are you human? Because like that could be a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. But
I
all
love
right,
it.
mine is very tired. I had to wake her up from her nap to come up here. So, all right, sweetie, you go back to bed. I'm sorry for bothering you for your nap. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What was that, Rick?
What's that?
Which dog was that? What was the name of that
Oh,
dog?
that's Mackenzie. Mackenzie is a Weimaraner mix I rescued. She's about 3 to 4 years old. She's a bad dog. She bites. We're working on it though. We're working on it. She's just very, very excited. She just has so much
Oh,
love to give, and she likes to give it with her teeth.
oh, that's okay. I mean, it's better than other options, I suppose. I love
Well,
it.
the problem is she also eats her poop. So, like, can you imagine those kisses?
Yeah, those get to be a little much, but I love
Well,
it.
all right. Starting off the podcast here, I am joined by Kayla. I'm going to butcher your last name. Kallander.
No, you never butcher it. That's how you say it. You've always said it right.
Perfect. Kayla Kallander. You're like in North Dakota, right?
Yeah, Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah.
Fargo, North Dakota. I didn't realize that was a real state. I don't think I've ever met anybody from there. I thought it was just on the map, like to distinguish the different parts of the country.
Yeah,
But okay.
it's north of South Dakota, so naturally. I have
But
to go to Canada.
oh, really? Cool. Well,
Really.
Kayla and I, we've actually never met in person. We connected through Instagram. We had a lot of mutual friends. I would see you on stage, and I thought, I need to connect with that badass because she is crushing it. And I remember I would connect with you, and you thought that I was crushing it, which was very kind of you.
Which you are. Let's be real.
So, like, it was like a mutual respect aspiration that kind of formed and developed. We started chatting and formed this type of mastermind friendship where we share, collaborate, and help each other.
That's what it's about. And I think in this industry and the people you get to know, it's collaboration over competition. And as the more people you meet, the more like you grow as a person. And that's what I absolutely love about this industry.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like with social media, like in networking, when I started in my business here 8 or 9 years ago, I go out to all these networking events, right? Well,
Yeah.
going to networking events, you're kind of limited to the people you meet, the people that attend those events. Well, with
Mhm.
social media, I can get very specific with the people I want to meet. I want to
Yeah.
meet people that will level me up. I want to meet people like Kayla that are doing awesome stuff that I might be able to learn something new from, right?
Yeah.
And you've done awesome stuff, and you've met. We have some mutual friends, and
We do.
it's just Instagram or social media is such a great resource for networking, and more people need to take advantage of it in the way to level themselves up and help themselves.
I agree. And I think too, like even the other day I asked you like, hey, are you like, do you want to know how I made this video? I had the app that you suggested, but I hadn't dove into it and I just didn't take the time. And I was like, that was so nice of you to send me that. Or I posted a video the other day and I had about 10 people share it on their story. And to me, like when people share what you have to say and spread the word, like you're also not just, they're not just helping you spread the word of whatever you're doing, like mortgage, like I do. But what I love is that you're helping others, what you share on social media, you're helping others reach their audience without them having to do anything. And so what I find is there's this natural collaboration that people just think you're sharing something, but in reality, by them doing that, they're helping not just you, but all of their audience too. And I love that aspect of social.
So one of the things you mentioned was I shared with you a video. For those that don't know the video I shared with you, why don't you tell the story of what it was I shared with you?
Yeah. So I had seen one of your videos and I think I commented and I loved it or liked it. And then you're like, I think
You
I
said I
said
love the
something.
edit.
Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. And it looked way more advanced than I usually do on my edits. And you screen recorded what you did within the app and captions. And And what I love about that is there's so many different apps, but a lot of us maybe don't dive into what we can do. And I love that you shared exactly what you were doing, because we might just be one click away from doing something a little bit better. And you helped me like look into that. And I was like, oh man, I didn't even know I could do that within there. And all it took for you was to take time out of your day, what, a couple minutes and record it. And I'm just very grateful for that. So thank you.
And to be clear, I don't do that for everybody because like it's hard. We only have so much time in the day, and we
Yeah.
have to we have to put our time towards activities that we find value in. I don't know if that's the right word, but I get hopefully you can get what I'm trying to say.
Totally.
You have to put time in the right people. That's probably the better way to say it. And in connecting with you and you and I kind of masterminding and sharing, like I
Yeah.
know that down the road you're going to figure out something really cool and you're going to share it with me because that's how
Oh,
we are.
I've got so much to share with you. You just wait till your text messages start blowing up here soon.
I can't wait. I can't wait. As a matter of fact, so I just wrapped up another podcast with somebody else that I talked to that's in the Pacific Northeast. And I sent her this video by Alex Hermosi. And
Oh,
she's like, Rick, I've never even heard of him. I love that video. It really changed my perspective, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, like I sent that to you just because I'm like, oh, I thought you might like this. I really didn't think it would impact you this much. So now
mm,
I started thinking, there are like a group of people I talk with, you, her, and like other people in like our little circle. Maybe I should
mhm.
send like we should create like a collaboration of sharing videos we watch that like impacted us.
Well, and what I love about that is it could take you an hour to listen to a podcast, but maybe you're like, hey, go to minute 13, go to minute 26, because a lot of podcasts, naturally, there's a lot of fluff and I shouldn't even say fluff, but things that maybe don't resonate as much maybe with you and I in our industry as opposed to someone in accounting or whatever it is. And so I could say, hey, listen, in our business, go fast forward to this part. It's crucial, and you essentially get the highlights versus having to listen to it. And we all know we don't have time to listen to every podcast. And it's just a collaboration and helping people find those highlights.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
in talking about using Instagram for networking, I feel like I share the same podcast over and over. I'm in love with it right now. It's shedding friends. So Alex Hermosi talks about it's okay to shed friends because we're in a different season of life. And now my friend that I may have had in
Yeah.
college that wanted to party, like I'm in a different season of life. I want to be friends with Kayla because
Yeah.
we're, doing business and we can help one another, et cetera, et cetera. So
Mhm.
we just talked about it's okay to lose friends. Don't let it eat you up. And I gotta imagine in your career, you've probably lost a few friends, not any negative, but you just outgrew them.
Yeah. And I think too, I had someone tell me one time, they're like, they got offended by something. This is years ago. I made that exact comment, and they're like, "Well, maybe your friends aren't ready to grow with you." And I was like, "Well, yeah, maybe I'm doing them a favor. Maybe I'm too much for them sometimes. Maybe I come over and I'm just talking about my job all the time and all these cool things that I want to do and these goals, and maybe like I'm just a little too much for them. Maybe people are okay living their life." I had a friend say, I don't want to sit in my garage and talk about football, but some people do. He's like, I want to be on a yacht drinking champagne, talking about our next business plan and how we can impact the world. There's different kinds of people, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, where we struggle as humans is when we're in the wrong rooms. And so it's just about finding those right rooms. If you want to talk about the Minnesota Vikings in your garage, heck yeah, go do it. Have your Budweiser. If you want to be on that yacht having champagne, go do that. Like, you just have to find your tribe. And you hear that a lot, but it's true.
And you talked about the champagne on the yacht. Also, let's talk about being on the yacht and talking about your pups and letting your pups play on the
Yeah,
yacht.
right. Exactly. You don't have to be talking about
I've
your
seen
kids.
so many, I've seen so many of your videos of your pups on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
I want to come to Minnesota or North Dakota and visit and bring my
Yeah.
pups.
Well, truthfully, it is Minnesota. Good job. First catch there. We go across the river to Minnesota because the lakes are just so beautiful there. But
Yeah, oh yeah.
what I love though is, I can be out on that boat with them and they're just loving life. And I can be reading a book and they're happy as a clam.
Yeah. It's fun. Dogs on the lake, throwing the ball, letting them swim. It's a
Oh,
blast.
and they'll go till exhaustion. We have to stop them. But I think that's what like really drives me is like being able to give my dogs a better life. They came from the streets, they came from, rescues. It's like, that's what drives me. Likely you too.
No, but so many things you said, I think really resonate with me and connect. And like we talk about sometimes we're in a different mindset than our friends or the people around us. And like, I know that
Yeah.
like people like you and I got to imagine we're like high goal. We want to accomplish great things. Like we want to push ourselves to the limit. Like we want to change the world. Not
Yeah.
everybody is wired that way. And sometimes we're viewed as crazy or like whatever, it's challenging sometimes. And that's where I see social media as an outlet to put yourself
Mhm.
and find those rooms.
Yeah.
And
It's
like I reach
really
out to people every single day. I reach out to people because I'm always wanting connecting. I want to find another Kayla. I want to find if I had 10 Kaylas in my life, man, I'd probably be a billionaire. But just 10 people lifting me up and sharing and collaborating. So I reach out to people all the time, and sometimes I find amazing people. Sometimes I don't, and that's perfectly fine. My feelings aren't hurt, but I don't quit. You just got to keep seeking out awesome individuals. And
yeah.
I remember when I first come across you, like some of the things I saw was the people you were hanging out with and the events you were at. I think you even
Mhm.
spoke at an event. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, you know that person. I followed them and I've always wanted to meet them. Wow,
Yeah.
you know that person. So it was something like this is someone that I truly should connect with and form a relationship because we're both on the same journey. I don't know your exact journey, but I can see through social media we're on the same journey. And again, that's the beauty of social media is it's a window into us who we are so we can sell ourselves to our realtor partners and people we want to work with as well as others in the industry.
Well, and I love that you say that because we have this opportunity to really break geographical boundaries. We have nothing stopping us from connecting with anybody in the world. And what's so powerful about that is that when you think, hey, I'd really like to get to know that person, all you need to do is send them a message or find someone that knows them and say, hey, I'd really like the opportunity to meet that person. And in my experience with conferences, what was this? It's I would go and find people that were going to be at the conference or were speaking. I would start following them. I would slide into their DMs and say, I can't wait to hear you speak. And then the next thing I knew, I'd be connecting with them. They're like, hey, you're the girl that connected with me. Or I would be speaking and someone would be like, hey, I listened to you. And what that does is social media helps us, like you and I, we've never met, but it's kept us in contact. But it also helps if you've met someone once, it allows you to create that connection deeper even afterwards. So it's amazing to me to see the connections that I've been so blessed with. I'm like, I'm from Fargo. I'm Kayla Kallander. Like, are you sure? Like, you got all these people, but what's really cool is just the community of people that want to help each other. And you're one DM, one comment, like, share away from meeting someone that could change your life.
And I like how you said you're one like share away because there's been times where I'll message people and they don't respond.
Yeah.
But by liking a story or commenting on a story or saying something kind, Kayla,
Mhm.
beautiful dogs. Kayla, you're crushing it. Great job. Congratulations on hitting your personal best, 5.8 million. By the way, congratulations. I'm still so
Right.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Um, but by being kind to others and like showing up in their journey,
Hmm.
that's more that's what I'm looking for. Like you're building a stronger connection than just messaging and say, hey, I'd like to do work with you, or I'd like to
Oh,
whatever. I'd like to get your
100%.
business.
It's when you go and support people. I One of the things that I teach on, coach on a little bit is we get so lost in this whole what do I post? What's something that I could share? What gosh, are people going to like my reel? And people forget about this thing called engagement. And Rick, you're really great at it. And it's just commenting, liking, sharing. When someone shares your post, wow, that's a great feeling. When someone comments something aside from love it or great job, and they're genuinely commenting from their heart, sharing like great job on your record month. I had no doubt. Like when you get a long comment, it's like, whoa. And to me, it's like we forget about engagement. And that's all it could take is just supporting
That's the
somebody.
most important part. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the most important part. That's where you build your relationships. That's where you build your business if you're trying
Mhm.
to grow it in whatever space. Oh,
Mhm.
hang on 1 second. I have a call coming in. Let me just tell them real quick that to push it back an hour.
Perfect.
Hey, bud, I'm on a podcast right now interviewing this rock star. Can you call me back? Can we chat in an hour? I must have got the time zones wrong. All right, all right, bye. This is a friend of mine. This dude is like kills it. He's like $1 billion producer. Maybe not a
Oh,
billion, but like 500 million. Like kills it out of Denver, Colorado. Good friend of
wow.
mine. I met him when I got in the industry. Always been a mentor. Always been a great guy. and we were just texting last night about catching up. So he made a move. I just wanted to hear about it, congratulate him. I try to be happy for everybody in their journey.
Awesome.
So
That's
we're supposed to connect today at 3:30. He just called me right now at 2:30. I must have got the time zones wrong or
You know
something.
what though? When you get connecting on social media and you start connecting with people all around the nation, we all get the time zones wrong, just so you know. I'm guilty of it every day.
Well, what's even more challenging is like when you connect with somebody and you're at a conference in a different time zone. It's like you're in a conference in like Texas and you live in the East Coast and you're talking to somebody in the Mountain Standard Time and you
Yep.
put it in your calendar, it's all jacked up.
Oh, I know. It's like, okay, we'll figure this out later, right? Yeah, I hear you. That's awesome. Well, good for that producer friend.
But
You're crushing it.
he's amazing. I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast next.
Nice.
I just had on the podcast. I filmed it yesterday. Yesterday, I posted it today. I sent it to you on Instagram. I posted Gavin Ekstrom. Gavin runs. He built out a division, $3 billion team.
Wow. Nice work.
That's more
man.
than most mortgage companies. Yeah. So now this year it's slower than normal. This year he's having a tough year. He's only going to close 1.6 billion.
Oh man.
I'm not sure it's going to get by. It's going to be tough.
I think it'll be okay. That's either way, it's so great. And with kind of what we've seen in our market in the last few years, it's just, so many lenders are barely putting up loans at all. And so if you are a lender or you're a realtor and you're doing, that kind of volume, hell yeah, that's awesome.
But it just comes down to doing and like, getting back to it, he was one of the people I started following Instagram that kind of kicked me in the butt to do it. And it was him and another guy. I don't know if you know Eddie Perez of Equity Prime.
Sure do. Yep. Of course.
So Eddie's in Atlanta with me, and Eddie was like crushing it on social media. He was doing so well that I wanted to be like him so bad and putting out good content that I capped myself. I was like, I'll never be as good as Eddie. And I would try, I'd work so hard to like find content to be as good as him. I hired a content coach. And then one day I thought to myself, just be you.
Mm-hmm.
Just be you and be dumb and silly and stupid and be you.
Love
and I started doing that. Yeah, love a dog. I started doing that, and Eddie brought me on his podcast, and we were talking about it. I was telling him how the same story, and he gave me like one of the best compliments. He's like, "Dude, I love your content. I think you're doing a lot better than me." Like he gave me a lot of praise, and it meant a lot because when you have someone that you're following and you want to be like them, and then they tell you that you're doing a great job, it just means the world.
Oh my gosh. It's like when you strive to be like someone or do, reach what they're doing or they're a mentor to you and to have them give you those compliments. Wow, what a great feeling. That's a testament to your hard work and for you recognizing that being authentic is what matters. And I know that word is thrown out so often, like be authentic. And people forget like just being authentic just means showing up as you. It doesn't mean you have to be like kind and caring. And I think there's just like level of like empathetic, be all those things if that's you. I don't know if do you listen to Andy Frisella? Do you know who that is? Like,
girl, you obviously don't read my Instagram page. I'm a first-born athlete.
Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. Okay, so okay, you're better friends than I thought. Okay, so as I get older, my memory goes. So bear with me. But
older, your memory doesn't go when you're in your 20s. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you're right. In my 20s. Andy Frisella shows up real and raw. And sometimes I'm like laughing so hard because he's so like blunt. And I'm not blunt. I'm really not. I'm usually like, okay. But when I listen to him, it inspires me to just be a little bit more straight up with people because I mad respect it. And I'm not even like that. And it's like, it just goes to show you can show up however you really are and you can attract people. And if it's not attracting people, that's okay because they're, again, not your tribe. That's cool. So
I got a kind of funny Andy story, a couple stories. I think they're funny. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'll fall flat. But so I'm not really sponsored by them. I'm what they call an ambassador. So like I get discounts or whatever. So I get invited to their annual like Summer Smash event at their headquarters in St. Louis. So like thousands of different ambassadors and people in that community get invited. So I go up there, we go to the headquarters. I go with one of my best friends because, I wouldn't want to go by myself. So I go with one of my best friends and she's my strength conditioning coach. We work out all the time. We're super close. she's friends with my family and wife. So like my wife knows nothing's funny business there, but we're just really good friends. So anyway, so we go to the headquarters of First Form. I've never been. I
Oh,
knew of Andy Frisella. I've never heard the podcast. I didn't know he had a podcast because I don't really
oh,
follow him like that. I
yeah, he
don't
learned
follow
another
75
way.
Hard. Yeah, I focus on like the fitness and the journey that
Yep,
they provide us with the
for sure.
ambassadors. So I walk into the headquarters and I'm walking in and I look to the right and I see like this door, this glass room and a door, and on the door it says recording. So I look in the room and there's all these dudes around a table talking or something. And I asked somebody, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh, that's Andy's podcast. He's doing a podcast episode right now. I'm like, oh, so cool. I didn't even know he had a podcast. So then after that, I started
Oh,
listening to a few episodes. But at every Summer Smash event, they have like a concert on Saturday night, and they bring in like 5 to 6 different musicians to play. And before the musicians play, both he and his brother go up on stage and give a speech. And one of the things he says that really resonates with me, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but the message is this: why do we work out and do what we do? We do it so that we can help others that can't.
hmm.
And I just really appreciate that message. I really love his perspective on things. Now, I believe you have to listen to him without a political lens because some of the stuff he says may come depending on how strong politically you are. Like you may, align with some. You can't like because his message is coming from the heart about just helping people, and this is his belief and philosophy. And
Hmm.
man, I encourage anybody to listen. Go Google Andy Frisella on YouTube and just listen to some of his content. Great guy.
Hmm. In the words of
Do you
Andy,
have a
don't be a hoe, share the show.
do you have a buffalo hat?
No, I don't.
Do you know what that is?
Well, is it the one like one of the ones that comes down over your face like that? Like a
No, 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 no. So he has a logo. Like you know how the Democrats have an elephant and the Republicans have
yeah.
like a donkey. So he has his own logo. It's a buffalo, and he has a hat with a
Oh,
buffalo on it, and
I
the
didn't know this.
buffalo is walk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the theme is that buffaloes walk into the storm.
I've heard him say that. Hmm.
So I'm
And
at this event and everyone's wearing this buffalo hat. I'm like, what does that mean? What is that? And they're like, oh,
crazy.
you have to get on Andy's like email list because every quarter he releases a
Oh,
batch of hats and they sell out immediately.
that is awesome. Okay, that's something totally different than I thought you were talking about, but that is really
Yeah.
cool. Wow.
So one day I'm hanging out with Jason Frazier. I know you know Jason Frazier, right?
I know of him, but I don't know him
Okay.
well.
So he was one of the next level coaches with the
Oh,
mutual friend we have. I can't remember his name out of Dallas.
KT.
KT with KT. Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah.
so I met KT through Jason. So, anyways, one day Jason and I are hanging out, and he's wearing a buffalo hat. And I'm like, dude, where'd you get that hat? And he started telling me about the new. I'm like, I know about that. I'm just saying, how the hell did you get it?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So,
Is
yeah.
Jason in Texas? Or where's
Sorry,
Jason at? You know where Jason lives?
he's he's in Atlanta.
Oh, he's in it. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
all
That's
the cool kids are in Atlanta.
clearly I'm missing the boat.
Well, Atlanta and North Dakota, like those are the two cool
Clearly.
markets, the cool kid
Fargo
markets.
and Atlanta. Definitely the same.
But going back to something you said that I freaking love. I did this when I started in the business. When you don't know what you're doing, when you want to grow, you got to reach out to people. And I love how you
Yeah.
just reached out to people on Instagram and coming to the conference. I'd love to see you speak because I imagined by doing that, it's very possible that they said, yes, I am going to be at that conference. And since you are coming to let me speak, I'd love to chat with you. And they
Mhm.
might give you some of their time because you took the opportunity to reach out and say hello.
Yeah, and I think if you're someone that's up on stage and someone says, "Hey, I can't wait to hear you speak," what a great feeling. And I thought about what those speakers and presenters might feel. And even if it's like, "Hey, come say hi. Just come say hi." And I'm like, "There's no way they're going to miss me. I've got this long blonde hair. They're going to know it's me." So it's scary to go up and say hi to someone that's speaking on stage, but it's like, "So what? They're a person. Who cares?" And again, you just never know where that relationship will lead. So, you got to take advantage of that.
Absolutely, and some of my best
Mhm.
relationships are from me reaching out to people and in a very similar fashion.
Yeah, and you have to. Otherwise, it's you'll always regret it. And I think in the book, have you read the Green Book, the one with Kyle Draper, Brian View, where you think
I,
everything
I
you know?
haven't, I haven't yet because I'm a little sad that Kyle didn't ask me to write a testimonial for it.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm
Well,
kidding. I'm kidding.
never know.
No,
He might.
I actually don't know Kyle that well. I
Oh,
saw him speak once. He did a presentation on connecting with people through Messenger, and like it changed my mind. Like I love
yeah.
that presentation, and I'm a big advocate now of doing that. So I think he's incredible. But I have not read his book yet. It is on my list. I know that. Did
Good one.
did you write a chapter in it?
I did. I did. And well, what do you know? I've got it right here. Okay. So if
Man,
anyone is,
if only someone would send me a copy.
hey, don't tempt me with a
I'm
good
kidding.
time. I just need, actually, I'm sending it to someone today. I'm not joking, from LinkedIn. They're like, I'll send you a copy of mine if you send me a copy of yours. I'm like, sweet, let's do it. So DM me your address and something will show up. Deal? Deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm pretty sure I have sent you a copy of something, haven't I? Did I? Have I sent you a book? I've never sent you a
Oh,
book.
not physically.
Oh, I am
Not
so upset with myself. I can't believe I haven't sent you a book.
not
Oh my
physically.
gosh,
That's
I
okay.
feel
Oh,
terrible.
well, what?
It's not
I
okay.
wasn't expecting it. You're fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
No,
I'll
because,
send you
because like you. Okay, let's get back to your book. Here I am
that.
sidetracking our conversation.
Oh my gosh. We'll talk about that on the side, but we need to get, I
Yeah,
need whatever you're sending because I will read and review. And
yeah.
but the reason I bring this up though is because in this book I talk about, my chapter in here is about essentially the use of social media and connecting with people and engagement I talk about, but also I talk about this strategy. Rick, maybe you've heard of this before, the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, where you could use anyone in Hollywood
Yep.
and within 6 actors or less connected to Kevin Bacon. And I thought about it and I'm like, why was I asked to write a chapter in this book? And I said, why me? Why I mean, there's only 30 some people in the nation that were chosen. Like, what did I do? And I thought about it, Rick, and I'm like, the 6 degrees connection effect. Same thing happens with social media and the nation and your connections and relationships. Like, how did I get here? And I break it down. And it all started because I connected with Greg Fowler on LinkedIn years ago, like 10 years ago. He connected me with Jeff. Jeff connected me with SocialCon, an event I spoke at. SocialCon connected me with Kyle Draper. And that's how I'm like, had I not been on LinkedIn and had I not connected with Greg Fowler and did his Real Estate Titans podcast, I wouldn't be here. Or if I would, it wouldn't have been that route. But I guess what I'm saying is you just never know how one DM, one like, share can lead you to writing a chapter in a book, or maybe a new career opportunity, or maybe rescuing a dog. I rescued one of my dogs because it came from a client that I was referred to by a realtor whose page I liked on Facebook. So when you think of all that, think of that. You just never know. And I love that.
Hold the book up one more time. I want to give a shout out to it. So Kyle Draper's book, Rethink Everybody. Guys, if you have an opportunity, check out this book, read Kayla's chapter. But I know that every chapter is incredible because Kyle is incredible. I've seen him speak, and I know that he's not going to bring anybody in that's a bum. All the people he brought on that book are going to be freaking rock stars. So awesome
Well,
book to recommend. And I believe it wasn't like an Amazon bestseller like the first week or something.
yeah. And I think what's really cool about it is you can pick it up and you can just read one chapter and you're good. Like you can get, it's like, it could be sitting on a coffee table and you can pick it up. And um, each one like has, there's some pictures, like you can see mine. It talks about, I can't even do that right. Just there's so many
Yeah,
different
you
like
can see it. It's good.
actionable items. And I love that. Like that is the cool part is here are 4 things you can do. And each one has a QR code. So it takes you
Oh,
to a video
cool.
of us. So it's,
No
you get to
way.
like see the
It
speakers.
takes you to a video. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So it takes you to my chapter will take you to a YouTube video of me speaking. So you get to really know the authors. It's really cool.
I love that. That
You'll get
is
a copy
awesome.
soon in your postal mail.
As will you of something else.
I love it. Oh, let me
um,
check that one.
so, going back to that story, I'm going to be a little authentic. I'm going to put something out there. So, in the past Rick, the old Rick, I would have been like, wow, how come Kayla got that opportunity? That stinks. I
Mhm,
work really hard. Kayla, she's just a pretty face, right? I mean, the old Rick would have been taking it negative.
mhm.
And as I've grown as a person, I realize we can all get a lot further by being positive and helping. So now, like, I don't know if you remember when I first saw you were in that, the first thing I did was congratulate you. And I think I said, like, I'm your biggest fan, which is
You're
true.
so sweet.
Uh,
It's so sweet.
sorry?
So sweet. Like, that's just so
Right,
kind. You take the time.
right, and like my perspective changed in life because you can get a lot further by being kind and not expecting something in return. Just be
Mhm.
kind to be kind. Just be
Mm.
friendly to be friendly. Don't because when you expect something in return, there's an expectation there that you're going to get let down because you're
I
never going to get what you expect because people just we're all wired differently.
And I think that shows a lot of growth and a lot of maturity because the moment you I love you say that because the moment you start to help others without expectations, I will tell you I've struggled with that. I've struggled with, oh my gosh, if I help that person, they're another lender, they're competition. And I remember seeing all these loan officers start following me on Instagram and I'm like, ugh, I don't want them to steal my stuff. And I changed my perspective. And in turn, I created a table the other day, and I had a lender reach out. How did you create that? And I said, I used Chat GPT. And I didn't just tell him that. I sent him the prompts I used, kind of what you did with me on the video. And I said, here you go. And at the end of the day, there's enough business to go around. We're different markets. Like, you just have to realize that by helping others, that should be enough to fill your cup. That should be enough.
Absolutely.
But it takes growth. I still struggle with it, but I'm like, no, help others. Like, if I can give without expectations, gosh, it just feels better in my core. It just doesn't feel as ick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think my biggest challenge now that I completely have no expectations of people. Not just because I recognize everyone's in different phases of their life, right? So for me now, my biggest challenge is people questioning my my reason, questioning my
Mm,
intentions for trying to help people.
mhm.
And to me, that's a challenge I'm working through.
Well, at the end of the day, it's growth. And I think one of the things that's helped me is I've been better about gratitude. It's really easy to chase the dollar, chase the loan, chase the status. And I think about Kayla 10 years ago, and I'm like, Kayla 10 years ago would love to have 4 pit bulls and a lake home and 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 be grateful for the hard work because life gets stressful and busy. But why is life stressful and busy? It's because I'm growing a business. And it's like if you want the nice house, you're gonna have to fix the roof. If you want the green grass, you're gonna have to water it. But at some point, and I've really taken a step back to think about this, is at what point are you grateful? And I think it was Ed Milet that said it's okay to be blissfully dissatisfied, meaning be grateful, thank you know recognize your achievements and your goals, the people you've helped, and then yeah, still have the next step, but take the time to be grateful. And I'm really working on that.
So it's funny you talked about being grateful. So I have this little notebook on my desk, and I'm going to show it to you.
Oh, oh, I love it. I'm thankful for.
Lisa's my wife. Cade's my
Oh,
daughter. Bacchus and Bo are the pups I had that passed away. Then you see
oh,
mom. Then you see dad. Then you see my brother and sister. So I have this on my desk. So like when I get really angry,
mm, I
not
love
not
that.
that that never happens in our industry, right? Our industry is easy, perfect. But whenever I have a bad day, I'm like, oh, I'm grateful for Lisa, for Cade, for
I'm
Bacchus, for
so
Bo.
grateful. I love my
I need
life.
to I need to add Molly and Mackenzie on there.
Depends on the day if they're eating their shit or not. Yeah.
Oh my god! Hey, this is a family show, Kayla. Let's watch our
Oh,
language.
oh, it's a noun.
but
Well, but I love that. I
but
love that you have that. I love that that just keeps you present in the moment because it's so easy, especially in our jobs, in our industry. It gets so hard for me to really just stop because there are times where I swear I'm working 15-hour days and I just never stop. And we have to be on, and your phone's ringing, and you don't want to let a realtor down or a client down. And the house needs an offer today. And it can be so easy to get wrapped up in that because it's your reputation and people are waiting on you. But at some point, you really have to stop and just realize like what is important because otherwise you just get so wrapped in
absolutely.
and move
Um, uh,
forward.
earlier on the podcast, you mentioned coaching. Are you
Mhm.
coaching now?
I have been as my mortgage business has picked up. I need to scale and figure that out, but it's taken me a little bit away from it. But I have done one-on-one and group social media coaching. So it's more so
Oh, awesome.
about how to utilize social media the right way or how to take those next steps. So I have a course that I teach. Right now, I'm teaching a recruiter, and I adore him. He's a national recruiter, but he wants help with his social media. And we've had some of the best conversations. And it's just about, hey, here's the next step, and here's some apps I use, and what are your pillars? And we talk about navigating that. And I think as someone that's in the business, it's different when it comes from me versus sometimes just someone who owns a social media company. It's like, no, I'm in it every day. Here's where I'm gaining traction. And it doesn't mean having a
Absolutely.
million followers. It just means, where am I connecting with people? Where am I getting leads? And yeah, I just coach a little bit on the side whenever I can with people.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. I mean, I'm sure, and obviously you're incredible at it. Your social media, you do such a good job of mixing your pillars and your
Mhm.
family and your personal life and your fun and your
Yeah.
business and but also educating, right? You talk about, if I were to move to Fargo, North Dakota, here's what I want to know. And you put content out like that to educate
Yeah.
buyers on like, I think your Instagram is one of the best examples of how to
Oh,
run a page in our industry.
thank you. Truth be told, I struggle to do it all. It's like a second job. I mean, you could hire someone to do your social media, or you can use canned graphics, but you and I both know this. It's getting on your stories where you can really connect with people, and it's being authentic. And one thing I've started to do is share stories. Like my last reel, I said, "Hey guys, should I use a realtor? I found the house at an open house. Should I use a realtor?" And I just shared the story of a client wondering if they should have representation. And by sharing the stories, I feel like people really relate to that. They like to hear, what is Kayla seeing day to day in her job? And I've had to tweak that. I used to do voiceovers all the time, like the funny ones. And sometimes I don't know what to post. So I record myself driving in my car, and I just put words over it. It's like
I
you're
do the
always,
same. Yep.
you're always trying to figure it out, but at the end of the day, it's like, I can't stress it enough. You don't have to have 50,000 followers to be successful at social media. You don't. And to be successful at social media, my message is always, by you not posting, you are doing a disservice to the person that needs you, the person that needs to hear your message, whether it's one person or a million. And that's why I mix in the dogs too. It's like someone might need to have a laugh at my dogs being crazy, or someone might want to see my lake home makeover. They love the aesthetics of makeovers, or renos. But in reality, I love to educate and empower people, and we all have these platforms to do it. So you just got to do it.
And what's stopping anybody from doing it?
What I've noticed is people are scared of being criticized, and they are scared of the time commitment. But I think if you find a way to scale whatever it is that you're doing, and if you realize that the people that are trolling you are going to be the people that don't even have profile pictures, we're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
So I posted this thing about mortgage rates a while back, like rates in the 80s, 70s, 90s, 2000, 20, whatever. And the example was like rates aren't that bad, right? And 70% of my comments were like hate, people attacking me. And I loved it because it helped my engagement percentage.
No,
So
no, no,
I
no.
just kept I just kept commenting on their hate
That's what
comments
you
and like
do.
trying to get them, like trying to create dialogue. And I was
Yeah.
perfectly cool with them attacking me because my engagement rate went through the roof.
And you know what? That's the thing. And I almost welcome those comments, because it allows me to be able to come in and share my piece. Because as you said, you shared rates. It is amazing to me, and probably it doesn't surprise you, how people are so upset about rates being 6.5%, let's say 7.5%, whatever you want to say for the last year. But they have no problem paying 24% for their auto loan. And they don't even know what the difference between 7.25 and 6.5 is to their payment. They say, well, I really want 6.5. And I'll say, well, why is that? Is there a reason you're going for that? And they're like, well, it's lower. And I'm like, well, do you know there's a difference? And I share it. And so to me, it's like those comments that come in, I'm coming in like, hey, I love you commenting, and I understand that, but let me break it down for you. So
Buy 5 less cups of coffee at Starbucks that month.
yeah, exactly. Cancel your Hulu, cancel your Netflix. But at the end of the day, I think people just, I'm always so surprised that people take time to be negative in comments, but they're going to be there. Whether, you want to know what? People are talking about you, whether it's on social media or not. Someone's probably talking about me right now. And you want to know what? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if I am able to help other people and one person gets offended or doesn't like what I have to say, that's life, you know? Life's tough. Get a buffalo helmet. I mean,
But you know who does like what you say and cheers for you? This
Rick,
guy right here. And
yeah, this
that's
guy.
and and that's all I need, right? Like I can have 30 haters that like bring me down, but that one text or
Mhm,
comment from Kayla, hey Rick, keep it up, keep going. That's
mhm.
it. Like
Silence is
that
okay.
fills my cup
Yeah.
because I got to a place a long time where I don't care what people think except for the people I love.
Mhm. Agree. The thing is, would you take advice from that person that doesn't have a profile picture and doesn't, I mean, is it ever
Absolutely not.
someone, this might sound rude, I'm sorry if people take offense to this, but are you ever getting criticism from someone doing less or doing more than you? They're doing less than you. And I'm not saying you have to be doing more or less in your life, but I'm saying the people that are,
No,
it's
you're
like
right.
looking at the
Don't be
Olympics.
politically correct. You're absolutely right. Don't take
Well,
advice from people that are losers. They're doing less than you.
well,
I
I
mean,
think about the
it's
people watching the Olympics and they're criticizing people as they're sitting eating their Cheetos. And I'm like, come on. Like, there's a place for all of you, but you can keep it to yourself. But
I read a quote, you'll never see a millionaire insult a person that's trying to invest.
mm, amen. I like that. And it's true. Or they'll, if they have something to say, they'll keep it to themselves and not post it on Facebook. Just saying.
I I go to the gym, a 24 hour, like one of the fitness gyms, LA Fitness. I'll go there one day.
Hmm.
And anybody I see in the gym, regardless of size, weight, age, anybody I see, I want to
Hmm.
give a high five and a hug, like, great job for being here and trying. Because you don't have to be. You could be doing something else, but you're in here trying to better yourself. And I think
Yeah,
everyone deserves a high five for trying to better themselves.
I love that. Amen. And you got to be around, again, the tribe. Got to be around those people. And if
Well,
people aren't high fiving at the gym, just go to the other side or get a new gym.
well, one day you may see on the news some crazy guy in Atlanta is going up to people, hugging them in the gym. If you see that, just be like, he's not that crazy. He's a nice guy.
Fine. He's fine. I get it. I'll keep an eye out.
So, what's next for Kayla?
What's next for Kayla? I feel, and I feel like there's something big coming. I feel like I'm on the cusp of something. What that is, I don't know. And if I knew, I would keep it quiet. But I just feel like there's something, like I'm meant for more. So what's next for Kayla is, authentic moment here. I struggle with decision making. I have decision fatigue, fight, flight, or freeze. So when I'm presented with 700 nail colors, it's very difficult for me to choose one. And so the reason I tell you that is, as we talk about opportunities or what you should do or what, boards you should be part of or what trips you should take, I just have this feeling in my core that there's something more. Gosh, I should put that on a bumper sticker. But I'm struggling to figure out what it is. But maybe I just have to have more conversations with Rick to really find it. But stay tuned.
That's what many people do. That's what many people do. They have many private conversations with Rick to help them find their
Yes,
journey. Um,
yes. That's but
well,
that's about it though.
no, and I feel the same. I feel you're on the cusp of greatness. I mean, look, I think you're already there, like in a lot of ways, but we could always go further. And I
Mhm.
see you going further. And one of the things I see in you is that as you go further and get to new levels, I can see you bringing the people up with you that were
Yeah.
helping you on your journey.
Well,
I'm very passionate about sending the elevator back down for those people that haven't made it to where I'm at that want to get there.
mhm. What is the quote? You're best able to help the person you once were. I think I'm butchering that, but you think about where was Kayla 10 years ago? Where was Kayla 5 years ago? Would that Kayla then love today's Kayla as a mentor? Could I be helping others? Could I be coaching others? Could I be, collaborating in a different way to, again, how we just started this conversation was to give without expectation of receiving something back. And so I fully agree that, like, when you get in that mindset, magic happens. And I feel like the magic might, I don't know, I just have this feeling like there's some magic for both of us on the
No,
cut.
no, I agree, and I think a lot of it comes down to the activities we're doing on social media.
Mhm.
We're connecting, we're speaking, we're going to events, we're putting ourselves out there,
Mhm.
right? You're
Mhm.
putting yourself out there, and in an authentic way, you're showing your true self, and people are going to support. Some are going to hate, some are going to support, but
Yeah.
by keep showing up every single day and keep putting yourself out there, I only see good things coming.
Likewise. And I think you just have to keep going because it's really easy to say, I'm tired and I just want to break and I don't want to connect. And there are days that I just want to like go to bed and sleep and not talk to anybody. But the days that I'm talking to people, like today, I text you, I'm running a little late because I had 3 meetings, two of which involved coffee. And it's like you're coming in hot, but I'm so fulfilled because that's where I get my glow. And it's like, how do you lean into that more? And I think everyone should be like,
Mm,
where do I really, what parts of my day do I really find myself glowing? And where can I glow more? And that's kind of what I'm focusing on too.
I love that. That's a great feedback. I love that. Where can I glow more?
And
Man, I
to
always learn.
Well, and to glow more, you might have to delegate to elevate. You might have to delegate something to someone
Delegate
else.
to elevate.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing my own website for so long. I wrote a check this week and I said, or last week, and I said to someone who's handling it for me, I said, "Hey, rock and roll." To me, I got to delegate to elevate, and elevating for me is glowing in areas that I can give to others, speak, have conversations like this, Rick, and to glow more, like we said.
So before we wrap up, I wanna get some tips from you for loan officers that are out there struggling. Maybe they're trying, but they just haven't got over that hump yet. You
Yeah.
just had a massive month, crushed it, and you're still doing well. In this environment, how did you have such a big month? What were the activities you did to
Mhm.
get your business to the place where you're at?
Well, truth be told, I was at a spot where I was getting so many leads and I wasn't converting them. Well, what I realized is probably a lot of people weren't converting their leads. Low inventory, high interest rates, nervous buyers, just everything, right? Season, time of
Panicky
year.
realtors.
Yeah. I mean, and so last year I was like, I'm getting the leads. Why am I not converting them? So I changed a few ways that I connect with clients. We have very detailed discovery calls. I get on video. We have in-depth conversations, but the success came from pushing to go get the leads, having the conversations, getting the leads in, because now what's happening is those leads from last year are now converting. And what I'm seeing is they're starting to fall. They're starting to find houses. So I was going from 5 to 6 loans a month to now we're closing 10, 11 loans a month. And to me, I want to close 20. So now how do I get there? How do I help more people? But for me, the activities I was doing was going and getting the leads because you're not going to be able to convert nothing. You need to have something to convert. And when I educate my clients, when they are empowered to make their own decisions, meaning they're making the decision because they're educated, not because Kayla's telling them to. When they are confident, confident clients make wise, better decisions. Confused clients freeze. They don't make a decision. So I'm literally pouring into my clients' education. Hey, did you know that the average home price in Fargo is up 10 grand and the average, appreciation is about 4%? Wow, that's 22 grand that you could have created or made by buying last year instead of this year. When you break it down for the client, it's like, oh, I had no idea. Or I have a client now that she wanted to afford this amount per month. And instead of spreading out, $30,000 over 30 years, we took her proceeds and paid off all of her higher debt and she's cash flowing the same. But you need to be a strategic thinking loan officer, not an order taker. And you need to take the time to really dive into your clients' fears, hopes, and dreams because prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And that's what I live by day in and day out.
Wow, we got some
Sorry,
incredible like clips and quotes on this call. Yeah.
that's a lot. I'll talk about
I'm gonna
social
have to
media
re
and mortgages and I'm.
well, delegate to elevate,
Mhm.
diagnose before prescribe.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I love it.
Mhm.
Man, I was going to tell you something. Oh, so your leads, are you getting those from realtors or are you getting leads from, where do you get your leads from?
Most are coming from realtors, financial
Okay.
advisors, my sphere. A lot are just word of mouth. Today, I had a client Facebook message me like, "Hey, I keep hearing your name. I was at the nail salon last week or this week actually, and some girl said, "Hey, I know you from your reels." So although those are not like, I don't get a ton of leads from social media, it's creating brand awareness. So when people are
Yes.
ready, but I would say mostly financial advisors, realtors, and just kind of the repeat word of mouth sphere.
I imagine like you kill with your realtors because like how can anybody not love you? You know, you're very authentic, you're smart, you're super knowledgeable, you create a plan for the buyer, you help them, you're providing value to your realtor partners. Do you have a strategy of creating new realtor partners?
Um, I'm testing the strategy, but what I've noticed was I was working in my business, not on my business. I was really in my loans. I was getting leads, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm doing wonderful. And then it hit me. I'm like, I need to be out engaging and sharing what I can do with my realtor partners, with my financial advisors, with divorce attorneys. They need to know what I do and how I can help them close more clients, make more money, get people into homes. And so I tell you that because what I've had to do is step aside and say, hang on, how do I create more relationships with realtors? Because a lot of them probably have lender partners. One of the things that I've been doing is connecting with them on a personal basis in Instagram, whether it's a comment, share. I had a bunch of realtors share my reel yesterday. So I'll direct message them and I'll say, thank you so much for sharing that. I hope that you get some client interaction. And by the way, if you ever want to connect, I'd love to strategize about how we can help each other in our businesses. And so I take a personal route because I'm just not the type to be like, hey, Rick, you and I should work together. I'm going to help you make money.
Right.
Like, not my style. I'm like, hey, love what you do. Maybe you and I could align. And we all know that it takes a team. When you've got a killer like team of lender, realtor, and title, like dang, lights out, look out, we're closing in weeks, great rate, great terms, like we've got this. But you really have to be able to have those connections and make sure that you're aligning with the right people.
I want to share a strategy with you to test and let me know if this works for you. So this is
Mhm.
something that I do all the time that has crushed it for me is I'll take one of my realtors out to lunch. So let's say one of my realtor partners, I take you out to lunch and I say, Kayla, I've been reevaluating my business this year and I've identified that I'm tired of working with everybody. All these realtors are wasting my time. I only want to work with badasses like you. Can you connect me with 3 to 5 agents in your office that you think are amazing?
You want to know what is so crazy? This is why I adore you. I was having coffee with a realtor yesterday and I'm like, I should ask her if she has any more like her. I love this. I will do this. I will ask this because at the
So,
end of the
so
day,
the reason I say 3 or 5, right? Because if you don't put a number on it, they'll give you one. So
mm,
I put 3 because I
I
usually don't
love
say
that.
5. I usually say 3 because it's a number. It's a reasonable number. Okay. So now,
Hmm.
one time I was at lunch and I asked the realtor for 3 names. She's like, "Oh yeah, do you know Susie, Janie, and Susan?" I was like, "Wow, you came up with 3 names that fast? Can you give me 5 more?" Absolutely, Rick. I walked away from that appointment with 32 referrals.
Okay. Wow, Rick, that's awesome. That's incredible. And all you had to do was ask. And you want to know what? Is if you don't ask, we can't expect people to just be coming up to us. Like, you're top of mind then. So that's incredible. I love that. I love the three to
Now,
five.
if you say, Rick, I'm never going to remember that script. Can you please text it to me? I'm going to say no because I already sent you my book and it's in there.
It's in the book. I love it.
It's in the
That's
book. Yeah. So,
love
so I
that.
also, I go, so not only do I show you how to get through like new realtor partners, I show you how to schedule an appointment with them 5 times because statistics show if you touch somebody at least 5 times, your chance of getting business with them shoots up to 80%. If you just
Wow.
touch them once, getting business after touching somebody once is like -2%. It's rare.
Wow. I love that. I cannot wait to read this. I'm so pumped. It's going to be next on my
Well,
list.
it's the one I texted you is my
Yeah,
playbook.
I have it
Okay,
in there. Oh, wait, is this a different one than the one you're sending?
it's a different one than what I'm sending. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you're good there. Oh, oh, now I'm pumped to get this other. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
it's a completely different one than what I'm going to send you. Yeah, but
book swap
it's
coming at you.
I know, right? We're going to start a book club here.
Hey, sounds like a good way to meet other people. Just saying, connections to
Yeah,
grow.
well, we're going to talk offline some ideas, but
We will.
but I know we're coming up on our time, and I want to be respectful of your time. I super appreciate you coming on here. I know you're super busy. Wrapping up, is there anything you want to leave us with, or anything you want to leave the audience with?
I would say that Do not get discouraged. It's so easy in our business. Likely, I'm guessing a lot of realtors or lenders or mortgage industry professionals may listen to the salespeople. It's so easy to get discouraged, but like right when you're at the cusp, like right when you're there, like that's when you're going to see momentum. And I too have struggled with that. I'm like I said, when I look back at my conversions, I'm like, gosh, I'm getting leads but not converting. And I stuck with it and stayed with it. And I can tell you that there's times I'm gonna be frustrated too, and I want to give up, but keep going. Just you just never know what you're on the brink of.
And I think if you do get to a place where you're stuck, sometimes it's good to reach out to a mentor or to somebody you know that's crushing it that might be able to give you advice, because sometimes you get so stuck in that situation, you can't take a step back and look from it, from the outside.
Yeah.
So like I have like a board of directors and mentors that I go to for different things when I get stuck.
I love it. And you need that. You need to have like your board of advisors. Amen. And I would
Mhm.
challenge people to think about who are 5 to 10 people, maybe 12, that I could go to for certain things that I need in life, spiritual, career, whatever it may be, because those people, like, again, if they're anything like us, they're going to want to help and want to see you succeed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on this podcast. Super appreciate you. You're amazing.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
can't wait to do it again. We'll have to do it again soon.
We will. I'm down. You just let me know.
What we need to do is find a conference and go both attend and finally meet.
Let's do it. We'll keep in touch about that. Okay, books, book club, conferences. Okay, we got it.
And YouTube videos.
I love it. Let's do that.
Awesome. Well, look, I'm going to end the recording, but don't hang up yet. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.